I'm a quarterback wins guy, so it's easy for me.
Nick is too.
Broncos, Chargers. Chargers won the first go-round in Denver, even though the Broncos defense was all over Justin Herbert. 18 pressures, tied the season high. Nick, is this a win for Justin? Is this a must-win for Justin Herbert?
Yeah. Like, you can't have, and listen, I'm not a quarterback wins guy, but I think they are typically directionally correct. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? I do think the better quarterbacks win more and the worst quarterbacks lose. I do. So to stay on that for a moment, you can't have Bo Nix in year one match you on playoff appearances and career double-digit win seasons. Which he would, with a win today, Bo Nix does that. Right now, Justin Herbert's one season his team's gotten to 10 wins. They got to it exactly one season they've won a playoff game. Mm-hmm. Every football player quarterback who's ever existed is at the very worst tied with Herbert on playoff victories. And you know what I mean? He's got the one Pro Bowl season. Justin Herbert, and I've said this again and again, I will keep saying it, came into the league a B+ and still is. And that's the problem. We can show you passer rating again is not everything, but it is usually a decent snapshot. I mean, so we want to put the slight dip last year on he was banged up, fine. But this year, and this is, maybe I'm spending too much time with Danny Parkins, my dear friend, Breakfast Ball co-host, who simultaneously thinks Herbert's the third best quarterback in the league and also thinks the Broncos are more trustworthy tonight. You can't. They have the number one scoring defense, does the Chargers. Right. They have a universally accepted excellent head coach. They're playing a quarterback who is playing some of his, and to me, worse football recently than he was when he was on the hot streak. I know he ended up with 3 touchdown passes in that game. That was a brutal game for him against the Colts. Really. That the Colts kind of gave to them and they took from them. And also, they need this game. They're at home. Like, to me, yes, Herbert's got to play well, and they've got to win the game. Yeah.
So Nick Wright really calling out Justin Herbert here and saying he needs to get this win. He needs to get this done. Can't lose to Bo Nix and the Broncos. And the Chargers were able to pull it off. It took a little bit of magic in this game. The first free kick successfully made since 1976 before the end of the first half. So that was pretty interesting to see. I think one was attempted maybe 5 years ago or something, but it was missed. So again, this is the first free kick made in a long time. So, took a little bit of magic, took a little bit of a exploitation of a special rule there. But, the Chargers were able to pull this out by one score, 34-27. If we kind of look at Justin Herbert's stats in this game, he played pretty good. He threw for 284 yards and threw for 2 touchdowns. He did have 1 interception in the game. He completed 23 passes out of 31 attempts. So pretty good completion percentage there. Good amount of yards. He almost hit that 300-yard mark and, throwing 2 touchdowns and only 1 pick. He played pretty well, and that's really what his team needed for him. If we kind of look at Justin Herbert's stats this season, he's got a completion percentage of 64.7, which isn't bad. It's not top of the league, but it's not bad. He's got 3,243 pass yards this year. He's thrown for 18 passing touchdowns and only 3 picks, so definitely taking care of the ball. And that's kind of been, how Justin Herbert has been playing the last couple of years. If you look at 2023 and 2024, the interceptions are down based on what we saw earlier in his career. His first couple of years, he threw for 10 picks in 2020. His highest number of picks he threw for was in 2021. He threw 15 of them, and then he came back down to throwing 10 picks in 2022. So this year, definitely doing a much better job of taking care of the ball. And, that's got him at a rating right now of a 98.4. So, if you look earlier in his career, 2020, 2021, 2022, he threw for way more yards, but again, he had way more turnovers or way more picks. So you can kind of see the last few years, he's just taking care of the ball better. Yeah, the yards aren't as high, the passing touchdowns aren't as high, but he's taking care of the ball, and his rating is actually a little bit better. If you look at 22 and 23, he only had a rating of 93.2, so kind of a couple down years there for Herbert. 2021, with those 5,000 pass yards and 38 pass TDs, he actually got a rating of 97.7. So definitely his rating improving this year versus what we saw the previous 3 years from Justin Herbert. But, Nick is kind of talking about Herbert there just not accomplishing a lot in the postseason, and that definitely, is a problem for Herbert. In his one playoff appearance, he did not play that great. He threw 43 passes. He completed 25 of them. That's a completion percentage of only 58.1. He did throw for 273 yards in that game, so he had a decent amount of pass yards, but his average per attempt was not that great, only 6.3 yards per attempt. I mean, it's not terrible, but it's not, nothing record-breaking either. It's nothing crazy either. And he only threw for one passing touchdown in that one playoff appearance. He did not turn the ball over. He didn't throw any picks in that game. So 0 interceptions, but that only gives him a rating of 84.7 in the playoffs. Now, again, it's a small sample size. It's only one game, but, this is where Nick is really saying Herbert really needs to do something. Because if Bo Nix makes it to the playoffs this year and wins a playoff game, he's going to accomplish more than Justin Herbert has done in the postseason over multiple years. So let me know what you think about it here in the comment section. How do you think Justin Herbert has performed throughout his career and in that one playoff appearance? Do you think he is the future for the Chargers? I mean, this is the year to get it done with that great defense. Harbaugh is now there. I mean, it's definitely time for Herbert to finally get that first playoff win. So let me know what you think about it in the comment section. I appreciate you for taking the time to watch this, and I will talk to you soon.